aka MrBoxingDie.com, aka Mr. Holla at Your Motherfucking Boy. So, it's been a day now, almost a day, since Manny Pacquiao versus Jeff Horn happened. And, once again, wow. You know what I'm saying? I'm still in shock. You know what I mean? I am still in shock. All right? But I've now come to terms with the idea that Manny Pacquiao has lost to Jeff Horn. You know what I mean? So I'm only left to consider, to ponder the aftermath, okay? Because the ramifications of this happening are tremendous, all right? They're very big, okay? The entire boxing landscape at this point changes, okay? Because the idea of Pacquiao being the WBO champion before was him just kind of holding on to the belt, okay, fighting bum after bum after bum, and just holding that belt until finally one day he decided he was going to retire, and everybody was able to take a deep breath and say, Manny Pacquiao retired. Now we can see a unified champion in the welterweight division. Well, it didn't work out that way. Now we can ponder the idea of these belts being unified without Manny Pacquiao, okay? We can consider the idea of these belts being unified before the year 2025, 2030, okay? So this is actually, to me, this is actually pretty good for the welterweight division. Now mind you, in theory it's good because we don't know what Jeff Horn's going to do. We don't know if Jeff Horn's going to go over there to Australia and line up all bums in Australia and kind of pull a Uchiyama. Y'all remember Takashi Uchiyama in Japan, how he would just fight a bunch of bums over there in Japan and just hide out over there overseas and just fight all these guys that had absolutely nothing to do with the rankings, all right? And every once in a while fight a mandatory, you know what I mean? He could just do that, you know what I mean? Because it looks like the fan base over there in Australia seems to be pretty big, you know what I mean? So we don't know what Jeff Horn's gonna do, you know what I mean? But in theory, we don't want to think negatively. We want to think positively. The positive is that now the idea is up in the air that we could see Jeff Horn versus Earl Spence Jr., Jeff Horn versus Keith Thurman, Jeff Horn versus Danny Garcia, Jeff Horn versus Sean Porter, okay? Now that idea is right there up in the air for us to snatch, okay? So again, I want to kind of go into the aftermath of the fight, you know what I mean? Talking about those sorts of things, okay? So first and foremost, there's no way we can really discuss the aftermath without first discussing the fact that there's a rematch in the air. Okay, there's a rematch clause. According to Manny Pacquiao in his interview after the fight, he said that there was some sort of rematch clause. Okay, which I don't find hard to believe. I mean, Manny Pacquiao was the favorite going into the fight. He was the A side. So I mean, it's not hard to believe that he had some sort of rematch clause. Okay, so we have to consider first the idea that Pacquiao versus Horn happens again. Now, I'm not going to make a prediction on that fight, okay? I'm not going to make a prediction. I'll save that for maybe a later time, But let's think about the idea. Let's take both things into consideration, okay? Let's say that Manny Pacquiao goes into the next fight versus Jeff Horn and he loses. Okay, let's say he loses again. Okay, where does that leave Manny Pacquiao? What does he need to do at that point? If Manny Pacquiao goes into another fight with Jeff Horn, he needs to retire, point blank period. Okay, because you cherry-picked an opponent that you knew you could beat, okay, and he ends up beating you, okay? And then also, this is a guy who hasn't fought any top welterweights, who this is probably his first fight at the world-class level, okay? And you, Manny Pacquiao, were unable to take advantage of that. Not only that, but this is a guy with 16 fights under his belt, okay? All right, he probably never even been in a 12-round fight before, okay? He had trouble making weight. So there's so many things that we can talk about with this fight, you know what I mean? That would have under normal circumstances given somebody like a Manny Pacquiao an advantage. He had the overwhelming advantage in experience, the overwhelming advantage in speed, the overwhelming advantage when it comes to power, an overwhelming advantage when it comes to I don't know if you could say technical boxing skill, but you get what I'm trying to say. The man had overwhelming advantages over Jeff Horn and still lost the fight. Okay, so if he goes back into the ring with Jeff Horn again and loses, it is over for Pacquiao. Okay? All the fights at that point, okay, they only get harder, okay? Who do you fight after Jeff Horn? What do you go after? Another champion? Well, then that leaves you in the ring with Keith Thurman. That leaves you with Earl Spence Jr. Can you see Manny Pacquiao going head to head with any of those fighters and surviving if he can't get in there with Jeff Horn and win? All right, and that's not disparaging Jeff Horn. You know what I mean? He's a solid fighter. Okay, but realistically speaking, if Pacquiao lost a pretty comfortable decision, in my opinion, to Jeff Horn, what's going to happen in an Earl Spence Jr. or a Keith Thurman fight? You're going to get knocked the fuck out. Okay, so there's really no point in you continuing to fight after you lose to Jeff Horn for a second time. Okay, so I'm not going to dwell on that. Okay, we know it is what it is. Pacquiao needs to retire unless he's going to go the Roy Jones route and start fighting journeyman just to kind of give his fans something to watch. You know what I mean? So they can have some sort of remnants of the old Pacquiao. If he wants to do that, fine. Okay, but look, no, no more top fighters. You're past it now. Okay, it's obvious. Okay, now if Manny Pacquiao manages to win the fight, then we got to see a third fight. Okay? It's only right. You lost the first fight. You win the second fight. There has to be a third fight. Okay? So Manny Pacquiao has to get through 2 fights with Jeff Horn and be successful in both fights in order for him to be able to move on from this in boxing. Now, if he can get past that second fight, then the skies are the limit again. Okay? And then us as boxing fans, we got to hold our butt cheeks together and hope that Manny Pacquiao decides to get it together and fight the other champions in the division. Okay? You know what I mean? Which after losing to Jeff Horn probably ain't going to happen. All right? He's probably going to do exactly what I said earlier and just hold on to the motherfucking belts for 2 and 3 and 4 years until he gets ready to retire. Okay? So that's all there is to it. Okay? In this rematch. That's how I see it going. The aftermath of it. Okay. Now, personally, I don't think Jeff Horn, if given the opportunity, I don't think that, if there's a way for him to get around this and not fight Manny Pacquiao, I think he should not fight Manny Pacquiao. Like, for what reason? Leave it. You won the fight. You know what I mean? Some people think it was a robbery, but let them be who they want to be. You know what I mean? They don't know shit about boxing. You know what I mean? No goddamn robbery. He lost the fight. Okay, it was a close fight. Okay, but Pacquiao, he lost. He lost. You know what I mean? At least in my opinion. So if Jeff Horn, if there's a way you can move past this and just go on, move past it and go on. Go on over there and fight some of the other champions in the division and make some attempts to unify the belts. You know what I mean? Make some attempts to do that. Because if you can do that, then that really solidifies you. That really solidifies you as a champion. You know? Now, I mean, and I don't know that he could do that as soon as this fight. Maybe he could fight a few stay busy fights and then kind of work his way into negotiating for those other belts. You know what I mean? Other unification fights, should I say. But that should definitely be the next priority for Jeff Horn, man. Like I said, if I was Jeff Horn, I wouldn't fight Manny Pacquiao again. I wouldn't fight him again. For what reason? You know what I mean? Pacquiao lost the fight. He tried to cherry pick you. Okay. He tried to pick on the weak. Okay. He tried to pick on the weak and ended up getting picked on himself. Okay. So, I mean, if that's to happen, that's to happen. It is what it is. All right. But I mean, it's just exciting. The idea that we could now be seeing an undisputed champion soon in the welterweight division now, because just like I mentioned, this win for Jeff Horn opens up the division. All right, it gives other people a shot. All right, it's up in the air now. Now it's up in the air. So who's gonna catch it? We don't know. We don't know. You know what I mean? But again, man, this, just to go back to the fight for a second, it was a terrific fight, man. Terrific action-packed fight. This really was a shocker, man. It really was, man. I woke up this morning looking at my Twitter, looking at my Facebook, you know what I mean, looking at my YouTube, and, shit was crazy. Shit was indeed crazy, man. I mean, it really was, Oh, man. Like I said, man, Jeff Horn, let's see some of them unification fights, man. Leave Manny Pacquiao big head ass in the background. And start working on some of these unification fights, man. You know what I mean? And really get busy with that, man. Leave Pacquiao alone, man. But let me know what you guys think. Hit it up in the comment section below. You could also hit me up on Twitter, Box capital X or capital X Die. You can hit me up on Facebook, Box -sign or -sign Die. Like the video, subscribe, all that bullshit. But until next time, it's your boy D Dynamite. I'll let your motherfucking boy.